Good morning, everyone. I'm Connie from Disability Pride PA, and welcome to our 9th day at our virtual Pride celebration. I'm gonna go through just a little welcoming and introduce our guests. Just a few housekeeping items. We do have captions that are available, and you can hit the caption button to access those. If you have problems, you can put it in the chat and we'll be happy to help you. We know that some conversations are triggering to some individuals, and we ask you to practice self-care. During the presentation, the presenters will not engage in the chat. However, there will be a time for question and answer, and you can always put your questions in the chat and we'll make sure that they're read. We have many sponsors here today for Virtual Pride PA. And I'm going to ask my esteemed colleague, Vicki, to name some of those sponsors. Thank you, Vicki.
Of course. Thank you. So we want to thank Gateway Health, who is our Disability Pride partner, Independence Media, Artreach, Inglis, Liberty Resources, PA Link, Disability Rights Pennsylvania, Sorensen, Peel Center, Vision for Equality, Jeb's Care at Home, the Mid-Atlantic ADA Center, A Day in Our Shoes, Jeb's Human Services, the Institute on Disabilities at Temple, Mobility Works, the Disability Empowerment Center, AmeriHealth Cateris, PA Captel, and the PA Rehab Council.
Great, thank you, Vicki. So this morning's session is I Want to See a Deaf-Blind Advocacy panel. And I would like to introduce Pam, is it Our?
Yes.
Who is going to moderate this panel. Thank you, Pam, for joining us, and I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us today, and thank you for the Pennsylvania Disability Pride. This is exciting. Another year of fabulous Disability Pride. So exciting. Again, my name is Pam Our, and I am the Director of Advocacy and Community Engagement with PA, with the Center for Independent Living of Central PA, and I'm also PA Link Coordinator for Dauphin and Perry counties. And I strictly work with this group as an advocate for the Center for Independent Living, and we're going to talk more about how that all came together. Other people are going to talk about that. I just wanted to say that we came together strictly to support the continuation of quality SSP services, and that's the advocacy that I do, and for no other reason. And this group is pretty awesome, and I'm so excited to share time with them and you all. First of all, I'm going to introduce Laura Shipley. She's going to wave, and she's an SSP, service supports provider. Heather Snyder, another SSP, service supports provider. And then we have Heather Schoenwald. She is a deaf-blind consumer, but a leader of the group and heck raiser. And then we have Christina Drenhammer, who I'm going to turn this all over to because she has been an awesome facilitator for this group. She keeps us on task and organizes all our meetings. So it just makes sense for her to lead this session with the group. So there you go, Christina. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for allowing us to be involved with this very special day. It's very inspiring to share our advocacy team. We have Glencoe with a blue eye and blue eyelashes, and I want to see doesn't necessarily mean see as much as it means being it. I want people to hear us out. People, we're advocating for ourselves for deaf blind people of Pennsylvania across the state. I would like to explain a little bit, give you a brief story, a little background perhaps. Heather is a deaf-blind leader. Jerry Pana himself is the president of the Pennsylvania Society for the Association of Deaf. I myself have worked as an SSP, and I have heard deaf-blind needs and the help that they require in order to be able to get an SSP, and then I was able to meet Heather Snyder. It was almost 20 years ago. Wow, and it's hard to believe. And I never met anyone else. I mean, we had never met each other until we arrived there for that event and that advocacy workshop that we attended, which was provided by Pam. And that led from, one thing led to another, and we were able to share our stories and listen to each other. And we decided to focus on SSPs in particular. So from that day, we set up this notion of I want to see advocacy group, and it took off like gangbusters. And the reason why is that deaf-blind people, they really face innumerable challenges with access, gathering information, having communication, with transportation, and within their communities. And deaf-blind people do not want to rely strictly on their families, because deaf-blind people want to have their own lives. And that's what we, as far as SSP services, we advocate providing that to them in a professional manner. I call it an intelligent person guiding the person out there being able to access what they need. For example, taking them food shopping, being able to explain to your client what's on the shelf so that they may be able to make their own selections. It's just guiding them to perhaps out in the community to an activity. Another idea might be going into a doctor's office and let me provide you with one experience that I had. A deaf-blind person had an appointment at their specialist, and I was describing the room, the layout of the room, how it was set up, essentially mapping it on their back, providing that information to them and saying, well, here's the table, and over here is a chair, and then there's a sofa, and over here in the corner is a bathroom, all of those different things. And I'm sorry, this is the interpreter. Something just happened to my screen and I can't see anybody right now. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry, I'm good now. All right, anyway, so I just was giving her that information. I wasn't helping at all. I wasn't trying to do anything for her. I wasn't doing that at all. We are empowering that deaf-blind consumer in their independence to make their own decisions. So we have our advocacy team, and our goals are to be able to find the best qualified SSP services available for each individual person. Some deafblind people have low vision. They may have Usher syndrome. They may be completely blind. They may be completely deaf. They may be hard of hearing. We try and find whatever SSP best matches what their particular needs are. And then we advocate for any agency to make sure that that person it collaborates and gives and meets the needs of their consumer fully. Also, when Heather, who is deafblind, would have a rally, she wanted to really sort of get the word out there and promote it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And we sent out emails. We contacted people within Pittsburgh area, including Laura. She got involved as an advocate. We came together, a lot of deafblind people came together and their SSPs to have this rally and to encourage people to become aware, to educate the community about we have these rights and you have a right to have a qualified and professional SSP. And then representatives within Pittsburgh, Dan Miller was also a tremendous advocate for deafblind services and tried to encourage House bills, especially, but then COVID struck and everything became more complicated, more difficult. But we pursued and we rallied and we continued our work. So at this point, would anybody else on the panel like to chime in and share their stories? Heather Snyder, do you want to share something?
Sure, this is Heather. I think this group, in terms of advocacy, is very, very unique in that we all have different areas of expertise. However, when we come together, it's all for the common goal of working for the best services that we can find for the deafblind individuals. And Heather Schoenwald, I think, can speak about how other deafblind people have felt even after that rally, how they were inspired by being outside. So Heather, do you want to speak about that rally and the advocacy work that it took to put that together?
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear her?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. So this is Heather speaking. We set up this rally because we wanted to bring up awareness of the community that having an SSP is, we need that service. And we were trying to get more funding and to continue because people don't realize that people who are deafblind are very isolated, and isolation can lead to depression or anxiety or mental illness. And so to have this SSP program is very valuable. It's our light. We depend on SSPs to help us get out and be integrated out into the community. So the rally, we set it up because it was a funding that we're ending, I think it was September 30th. But so we set up the rally to let people know, hey, we're serious. We need the services because we're kind of like down below and no one's taking us serious. I mean, it's a daily living thing that we need. It's a need, it's not a want. I mean, you can give all of the services to other people or the other people who are disabled, but it's like, what about us? We need services too. And it seems like we're being forgotten all the time. So we set up this rally in Pittsburgh. Well, we wanted it for the whole state. but it was during the COVID thing. So we were outside, Laura helped, and everybody else got involved, sending out emails and contacting the allies. And of course, Dan Miller came. I can't remember where, can't remember the location. I'm not from Pittsburgh, so so we basically just, everyone stood in front of the crowd and told everybody how they feel about why they need an SSP. So Dan Miller spoke as well, and he made the announcement that she still was going to continue with the fundings until the end of December. That was great news. But it's a constant battle. We're trying to get more fundings for the program because for myself, I'm isolated. I only get 10 hours a month. All of the deafblind people only get 10 hours a month. That's not enough. I mean, we need to go food shopping. We need to go to our doctor appointments. Or we would like to go out to a restaurant with friends and stuff. But it's so, we can't read the menu. We can't see in the dark, or the different lighting situations and everything. Or we go to the doctor appointment, and the nurse or the receptionist is talking to us, but what we don't understand, not understanding, but it's what's that called? Communication facilitating. The SSP will let us know what's happening in the environment, or the nurse is like, well, you need to do anything like the scheduling and stuff, and the SSP will step in and say, okay, this is what the nurse is trying to tell you, or it's not interpreting it. It's just it's that communication, middleman and communication in between. It's short, brief, simple, but or we want to go to a restaurant, but the lighting is so, it's either dark or too bright, and we're not able to see the menu. So the SSP will sit there and read the menu to us. They will also do the environmental surrounding. There's tables here, there's people there, there's all of these arts on the walls. Yeah, so the point of the rally was just to educate the community that we're serious. We need services too. And it seems like we're getting left out all the time.
Right, yes, that's true.
So
Heather, yeah, that's all, everything you're saying is spot on. I think Laura, if you could maybe explain a little bit some of the experience that you have had as an SSP, just briefly a quick synopsis about how many years you have as an SSP, that'd great. Go right ahead.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, all. And thank you for allowing us to be here on this important panel. I am Laura Shipley. I am deaf. And I've been working with deafblind individuals for almost 30 years. Some of them have Usher syndrome. Which means they were deaf first, and at one point in time, they were able to see very clearly, but as they aged, their eyesight started to deteriorate. So they might be using, limited vision for what they currently can see, depending on the environment, etc. And there is a possibility that as they get older, they will lose their entire sight. Oh gosh, I've been doing SSPing maybe almost somewhere between 30 to 35, 40 years. So many times when I do work with deafblind individuals, they are lonesome, as it has been mentioned. They are isolated. And the SSP brings them out of that isolation, get them out of their house, their apartment, so that they don't have to maintain themselves being isolated. Because they do need to be out in the environment, in the community. Isolation is not good for anyone. So we pair up with them as SSPs, we'll take them food shopping, give them a sense of being independent. Deafblind people want to go out just like the rest of us. They want to go to different events. They might want to take a walk in the park. They want to go out and enjoy themselves, have a good time, maybe take a trip somewhere. Whatever they would like to do, we want to be there for them so we can make that happen and end the isolation, because isolation, as we all know, is not healthy. So we want to be able to get them out, socialize, go to different events, maybe go to the American Association of the Deafblind Convention, which is a thrilling event for deafblind people to attend. And people come from Sweden, England, Japan, and not only America. And I've gone several times over the years to AADB. So the American Association for the Deafblind Convention is a wonderful event that's held annually, that has interpreters, has SSPs, people that are providing communication services to a large number of deafblind individuals. So we're there, as I said, to be able to be their eyes, lead them places, take them on trips, so that they can improve the quality of their life and enjoy their life and have an opportunity to learn more on what's going on in their environment. Sadly, as we all know, COVID has been a real downer and a damper on providing these services to deafblind individuals. Their isolation did become worse during the pandemic.
Okay. Yes, that's, if I may, Laura.
So now we're hoping that now that the pandemic is lessening, that we'll be able to have more opportunities for deafblind people to have SSP services, reinstitute them, get them up and running again, and that the state of Pennsylvania will have the state bill that's in the House to get this House bill passed.
Yes.
And get it initiated so that services will not be suspended and that they will be able to continually, as a deafblind person, have access to SSP services for those who are deaf and blind, and end that horrible isolation that they have been experiencing, so that they continue to be able to do their daily living activities.
Great, that's great, thank you. Wonderful. Okay.
It's really needed, as we all know. So everybody, please contact whoever you know to get this House bill passed.
Wonderful, thank you, Laura. And I believe now Heather has something she would like to add.
I think going back to just after listening to Laura and Heather speak, going back to how Pam set up that workshop initially about what advocacy is, was a huge part of starting up this team. Myself, as a hearing person, my access to advocacy is quite easy at times. I can advocate myself on many different levels. But I think when Pam talked to this team way back a year ago in Harrisburg, what is advocacy and the different kinds of advocacy? For me, I always thought it was standing outside of someone and Pam, talked about how she's been arrested or, gotten in trouble. And I'm like, whoa, we don't want to be doing that as advocates. But advocacy can start with building allies and getting your teams together. And I think from that point, the eyes, and that's why we went back to our I want to see logo, is what does that mean and how to reach out to our allies to help us move some services the way we would want to provide excellent services across the state. So going back to that, as Laura talked about international workshops, as Heather talked about local rallies, to even understand the grassroots, what is an advocate and who can be an advocate. It could have been a 10-day workshop. And I think we've talked about as a group, after COVID is now opening up and we talk about training others, empowering deafblind individuals and having them understand how they can advocate for themselves is huge. Because hearing people always taking over and deaf people always taking over for deafblind people is not where it needs to be. It needs to be the deafblind people speaking out for themselves. And I as a hearing person, don't see that often in this low incidence disability. So I think what I've seen this team is, as we grow to what is an advocate, and then start door-to-door services as COVID now ends, of instructing and teaching deafblind people to empower themselves to do the work that this team has started. That's just my perspective, again, as a hearing person. I don't want to be advocating for deafblind people. I need to be partnering with them for them to advocate for themselves.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I have a question. This is Heather.
Oh, Heather, yes. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to add on what Heather said. Our team, what we do, we just go out and reach out to everyone, to the deafblind people, and we don't take over. The team doesn't take over. We just make sure the services are good quality of services. If they need to make any improvements or whatever it needs to be happening, if a deafblind person is not able to speak up for themselves. But we try to encourage the deafblind people to speak up. And also, what is it? Like the House bill. We get the information and then we make the announcements that, okay, we encourage, we support the deafblind people and the allies that, okay, this is what we need to do. We tell them, okay, this is what we need to do. It's not just us, the team. We make it all together as one, working together to make it successful. So yeah.
And this is Heather. We have been successful in that we were able to have OVR to provide the emergency funding. So I think this group was a part of that, with the rally, with the communication to OVR. That was a successful check for this group, that we are a group that is being seen within the Commonwealth. And I think that will continue as we are able to communicate more effectively after COVID.
I did want to say something about our advocacy team has been very successful with working with OVR and encouraging them to make sure that they funnel some resources specifically to deafblind needs. It's so important that that is accomplished. And we've been able to pull in more and more deafblind individuals, as well as other people, to work as allies with us. We have to keep in mind that this is for deafblind. I'm a deaf individual. I am an SSP, and I can't say, oh, no, let me do it for you. Not at all. I am encouraging, I am educating people to speak out for themselves. I work behind the scenes, simply to encourage and to explain to them as a deafblind person what's going on in their environment, to understand what their needs are, to listen to them. And I want to be able to educate those people to advocate for themselves and for other deafblind people. It's not easy, not at all, but I do not give up. We cannot give up. We have to continue to work against this brick wall, to make the changes and work strategically so that we can continue to move forward. If somebody gives me a new idea to work in this advocacy environment, I am open to all of that. I would like anyone who wants to join to please do so. The more the merrier, and the more people then we are able to empower as deafblind individuals. That is absolutely our goal.
This is Heather again.
Sure, Heather, go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, actually, no, I was gonna give it to Laura. I think Laura had her hand up first.
Oh, okay. So I wanted, as a deafblind person,
I was gonna actually give it to Laura.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
The rally that we had, I thought, was also very successful. I think it helped create a sense of awareness. People were feeling very good about the rally. People were feeling very successful. It was a great, the mayor's office was there. It was great outreach. So I think we, accomplished what we set out to do, but I think there are more goals. We have more outreach that we want to do. We have to plan what our next steps are going to be. We need to get more media attention. That's crucial. The media is crucial. TV, the newspaper, people getting stories, deafblind people getting their stories told. So this Commonwealth of Pennsylvania can see what kind of advocacy is needed and necessary for individuals who are deafblind. So that House bill that we're talking about is really going to help create and be an attention-getting mechanism for us to get, for deafblind people to get what they need. But again, we do need to have media attention. We need to have much more of that.
Yes, and also this type of event, this team, this advocacy team is not just within the state of Pennsylvania. I am more than happy to have somebody come in from out of state and ask me, hey, how did you establish this team? And I will educate them as to how to form an advocacy team within their area in another state. I mean, deafblind people are everywhere, and we want everyone to be able to participate.
Heather Schoenwald, did you want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say as a deafblind person, when we have our SSP come in and help us, assist us with daily living, for an example, like going to the laundromat, or going to the food store, you have no idea when they leave how happy I am as a person of, oh my God, I got something done. I got something accomplished. I don't have to sit here and wait and wait and wait and just feel so depressed and everything. But after work is done with an SSP, coming back home, it just boosts up my self-esteem. It's like, okay, I actually accomplished something today. And that's what we need with the SSPs. That's what they do. They, when they come in and help assist with us and everything. I mean, they can do stuff around the house as well. But you have no idea. I mean, think about it during the COVID when the governor told you at the stay-at-home order. Your routine was all messed up. You had to stay at home in the house. It's like, okay, what's on TV? Or what do I do now? What? And you're not able to leave the house. Just imagine living like that the rest of your life. It sucks, doesn't it? Being isolated at home. So it's a crucial point of using this SSP. It's just make us all excited. But it means a lot. So that's why we're advocating for better, good quality services and making or educating people, say, hey, we need help too. So, and like I agree with the Lord, we need more media and we need to make more education and announcements and everything. So it's working. It's in the work in progress. So it's good.
Okay. I wanted to add one other thing, that our mission and our goals to have more SSPs working as advocates, anyone. I mean, you don't have to be incredibly skilled. You can be an SSP, and how you can get some training. We want those SSPs to be professional, not care providers, professional. That's it. That's a separate category. There is training. I think they have two different agencies. One is in the western part of the state and the other is in the eastern part of the state. And you can contact either one of them, but we need more. Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you want to add something, Heather Snyder?
I totally agree with you, Christina. Bringing as many allies in for people who are interested. And I saw a conversation or a question in the chat as I'm looking at, is Vicky said, the best way to advocate is through educating others. And I think as this group educates others and makes themselves aware of how SSPs work, how deafblind, like Heather Schoenwald said, how they live their everyday lives, we educate others who can join us to this group and help our cause and help our projects throughout the state. So our mission is to provide good quality services, or to have good quality services within the state of Pennsylvania. And that is working with whoever provides those services, the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation and the Office of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. Their collaborative communication is crucial to this team. And we have seen great conversations come out of meetings with them. So to have ongoing communication to move services forward is definitely a mission and a goal of this team. And I think as that develops, our services that we've seen within the state will only become stronger as more people are educated about our work. So it's kind of a ripple effect. But as Heather Schoenwald said, even the people at the laundromat could be an ally. They see how well these services are being utilized and be like, oh my gosh, a deafblind person came into my laundromat. As we see the smallest person at a grocery store or the littlest job that we might not think as an ally, to bring them on to understand our cause is one of our huge missions, to have the deafblind people in the community doing what everyone else does. I think Pam has to say something.
Oh, yes, Pam.
I wanted to just say that this group has used just about every advocacy tool out there. They've been incredible with what they've done and ensuring that there was some emergency money found and then some more emergency funding continued. They have been working with the state, continually keeping people on their toes and alert that, hey, this money is going to be ending soon. They've been doing incredible advocacy work, and others have seen it. And I just want to say that I'm very proud of the work they're doing. When it comes to the bills, there's a couple of different things that we're talking about when we talk about the bills. I put information in there on a proposed bill from Representative Dan Miller to add more money into a system that allows for a consistent deafblind program. And we want that. We want that very much. And then there's a bill that went out a few years ago, but it hasn't been reintroduced, on professionalizing SSP services. I'm sorry, you might not be able to hear me well. To professionalize SSP services the way that certification, same way interpreters are certified. Those are very critical bills, but the group has decided in the advocacy work they're doing is we can't focus on any of those at the moment until we can assure, as Heather's been saying and Christina's been saying and Heather Schoenwald's been saying, is that we have a consistent quality program with the funding that's already available to ensure that the people who are asking for these services are getting the services that they need. And that's where the allies come in my mind. We can use all the allies we can get. We've been saying it a lot. And I'm proud to say that there are some other allies who have joined recently the group to help support, and we want to continue building that. Thanks.
I have a question real quick, or a comment.
Yes, I'm sorry. Who's that? Go ahead.
Well, that's the part of the advocate team. We're not out to shut people down. We're not. We want to help and support and make it better. So yeah, sometimes it's a struggle and people are resistant, but we just provide the information and educate and support, but we are not out to shut anybody down. Because we want to make it better. We want the services better. We want the best in the country. Because this is Pennsylvania, right? Commonwealth, right? So we want to make this the best SSP program that everybody's like, oh, wow. And there's other states that are watching us as well. Because I get a lot of people who contact me like, how you do that? Well, what are you doing to get all of that? Or, you know, and it's like advocacy. You need to set up a team. You're like, wow, well, let us know if we can do more to help our own state. So people are really, really watching us. And so we need to make this the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely. Yes.
Does anybody
that's
have
good.
questions for us? I don't know how, Vicky, I don't know how long we have. We don't want to keep going here, but do people have questions for us?
You have about 15 minutes left. So how would somebody that would like to be to join your group or learn more about being an ally, how would they reach you?
I can respond to that. We have a website. I'll put that into the chat right now.
It's I want to see website and email address, and Christina facilitates all that. She handles all that for us. It's been great.
And if you would like to get on our mailing list to have your email added to that list, Christina kind of monitors that Gmail account. So we have it through a central location. The people on that list are deafblind individuals, hearing people who wanted to become an ally and learn about what we're doing. Therefore, as we roll out different events through the state, and that's what I talked to Heather and the team about last week, as we open up to do some regional work, that way we can pull in the allies from that area, whether it's social events, whether it's rallies or, you know, other things that we're going to do, we can do it regionally. That way we can, again, deafblind people, meeting them where they are might be a little easier if we can do it regionally. But again, send us your emails to that Gmail account, and Christina can definitely add you to our list. Pam?
Sorry, Christina, this is Pam again. I just was wondering if Christina or Heather want to talk about the other way that allies can support us if they know other people who are deafblind, connecting them with us so that they can tell us their response. What are we doing to gather information on how services are in Pennsylvania? Somebody want to answer that one?
Sure. I'd be happy to. This is Christina. Sometimes I do receive an email from a deafblind individual who says, you know, I don't know where I'm able to get an SSP, and I can provide them that information, and I can let them know that I'm able to advocate for them, and I may be able to refer them to either of the two agencies across the Commonwealth, depending on where it is that they live, I'm able to provide them the agency name and how to contact them. If they're having a problem that I'm not able to help them with, I can advocate perhaps by outreach to that agency directly for them.
I was thinking about the surveys as well, Christina. If we're gathering information through, if we have your email address, we have.
Oh, yes, right. Yes, the surveys, absolutely, yes. We have already done some surveys for deafblind people in some localities, and we're able to make some comparisons, and it's pretty significant. People are very much focused on their local area, especially people out in rural areas of the state. They haven't been contacted by anyone. And so we are definitely trying to reach out to those people who have more significant needs and listen to what those needs are. And then we can reach out to our team and see what it is that we are able to do to provide them with the services that they do need. Heather, did you want to add something?
And again,
Yeah.
partnering with other agencies within the state, once we find out needs, we then have a, I don't know, Pam, you use it in your independent living world, but collaborative partnerships with partners who through COVID, was it needing food, needing transportation, just basic needs that we might find out from a deaf-blind person from a survey, then we can follow up with the Center for Independent Livings or regionally the supports that are there. So it's really providing another safety net for deaf-blind people to feel that they have people to reach out to that understand their needs, and then partner with, I see on, through these meetings that we've been on, so many agencies that they're doing such great work that we can then say, hey, have you called so-and-so? Have you called so-and-so to find out what's out there?
Can I add something?
Sure, go ahead.
So the allies is very important because then they can help us spread the word. They can help support. Like for an example, I think it was last year we were trying to pass that one House bill. So we set up, okay, everybody call your governor. Have a governor call day. So everybody called the Governor Wolf on one day. And not only we need family and friends support, but we need people outside like the allies who are powerful and strong for us too. It's like we're creating an army. And so we need to bring in our army and then we can go get what we need. So the allies are very important because they also can find other deafblind people as well who needs the services. I mean, there's 525,000 deafblind people in the state of Pennsylvania. Where are they? The majority of them are senior citizens. And this is no joke. This is 525,000 deafblind people here in the state. So we have, I mean, that's, the good thing about having an ally is they can connect with other people. It's just that connection, that networking, that, hey, getting the word out or asking for that support. I mean, when we had the rally, we had several allies who did show up to show support. Hey, we're here for you. Tell us what you need or whatever you need, we will be there for you. And it's very important just to gather up all the people and work together as one so we can get the services that we do need.
That is awesome, everybody. There are people that are interested in finding out more. I know that for myself, I would love to get more information, so that I am more of an ally, but also so that way we can put the information on our website under resources for somebody who goes to our website that is looking for that. And looking for that type of group. I think that is an amazing, I learned so much today talking with you all, listening to you. And I want to open it up in case somebody has any questions in the chat, or you can turn your mic on and ask the question yourself. It looked like there were a couple things. Heather.
I think Katie mentioned about young adults as well. I worked in a school system for 20 years and had some deafblind students within the school system. So this advocacy work can work with all people, who are deafblind who want to be involved too. So Katie, we'll definitely get back to you, keep you on our list as well, because I think those deafblind young people are the fresh faces of advocacy, and those people need to know and learn how to do that work for when they graduate, they can hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Heather, this is
Yes,
Katie
yes.
Smith.
So Christina, Christina, I would like to add also really quick, if I just want to add briefly, if I may. This team, this advocacy team, but that works, it doesn't work just with deafblind. We also advocate for deafblind people's families. And we are able to educate them as to how and what their deafblind family member needs, what their rights are. So we really provide advocacy to almost anyone, and education as well. It's so important for the families who are involved. The families need to be part of the advocacy and allyship. Absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Christina. This is Kitty Smith. I had asked the question about youth and young adults, and I work for Disability Options Network, the SIL. We cover 7 counties in Western Pennsylvania. I'm working to develop a youth and young adult program in Westmoreland County that will replicate. And so I don't know a lot about the deafblind community and advocacy. I acquired a physical disability myself, so I understand disability and challenges, and but not to this specific community and culture. And I want to make sure that as I educate advocates and allies, especially young ones, that I'm making sure that I'm including, the whole perspective of disability. In fact, tonight I'm doing a disability sort of history presentation for the Monroeville Public Library. If there are a couple disability history or rights that you would like me to mention, to make sure that deafblind community is included in that education opportunity as well, please mention them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. You can perhaps email me. I would be more than happy to get in touch with you and talk about some things sort of offline and let you know what sort of advocacy you can provide to that group. Thank you.
Can I comment? This is Pam. Can I comment to that too? One of the things that I believe allies really can help us with is helping us find a consistent funding source for deafblind services. That's one of the things that is our major goal. Yes, we're getting emergency funding currently for deafblind services under the Office of Deaf and Hard of Hearing for people who are 18 and older who are deafblind. But that's not a guaranteed situation. So any of our allies who want to help, that's one of the things they can help with, is help us advocate to find out where the money is going to come from, when it's going to come, and a consistent place that it's going to come from, whether it's going to stay in the Office of Deaf and Hard of Hearing under Labor and Industry or in another place. But this program needs more structure, and it needs stability, and it needs a consistent funding source. It needs I've been using the same term forever and I can't think of it right now, but it needs a resource plan. It needs a sustainability plan. So that's what allies can help us do. And can I mention one incredible ally that we've had from the very beginning who has become an actual group member? We always talked about allies can come from anywhere, but Heather Snyder started out volunteering to interpret for our group and has become such a great source for us. She started out as an ally. Now she's one of us, and she's been one of us for a really long time. We just kind of made it official recently, but or one of the group. I'm kind of outside the group, but that's what we need. We need people who are willing to help us do the work when it comes to the allies, and we're grateful for the allies that we have.
Thanks, Pam, for your comment. We are coming to a close on our time frame. I was wondering if anyone had any closing comments from the panel to close us out.
Heather.
Our goal is to have better quality of services and good quality services. As a future goal, we need more hours, not just 10 hours a month. we need more hours for SSP. SSP need to be paid more. We need to make SSP become more professional, not caretakers. No, it's a different role. So it will happen. It will happen. It's not going to happen overnight, but we need all of your support so we can move this forward and make not only the SSP program better, but the other programs too. So it's not just us, there's other people as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else
Thank you.
have a closing comment?
Thank you
Well-
thank you for having us today. I think it was a great way. It's kind of our kickoff presentation, which is great. So Pam says, how about presenting? So we're kind of all new at this presenting when it comes to these kind of platforms, but we look forward to partnering with you in the future.
Well, this is great. This is a first for Disability Pride Virtual PA, and we are your ally. So this is the first of many conversations that we will have together. So I want to thank everyone for giving such great information and perspective.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you.
To the community. Vicky, do you have any closing words before we sign off?
I just thank you all for this. Thank you, Pam. And I am totally down if you want to have more conversations to make that happen. And I just want to remind people that we have